Hello everyone, today I'm here to review a book for you, and today I'll be talking about Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. This is the second and final book in the Six of Crows duology, so we have Six of Crows, then we have Crooked Kingdom, so again duology, and let's just take a moment to look at these. Beautiful, and the covers are also very, very beautiful. If you have not read Six of Crows, I probably will be spoiling that for you, but in case you have not read it, I will briefly tell you what it is about right now. Six of Crows follows 6 main characters that live in Ketterdam. It also takes place in the Grisha universe. If you were unaware, Leigh Bardugo has written a trilogy called the Shadow and Bone trilogy, and a lot of people ask if you need to read that trilogy in order to read this duology, and the answer is no. It is a spin-off. It's completely different. I have heard there are some characters, and you will learn some things that happen in the Shadow and Bone trilogy, but I'm not aware. I have not read the Shadow and Bone trilogy, and if I'm honest with you, I probably won't read it. I don't have a really strong desire to read it, so in case you're wanting to read this duology and you're worried that you have to read 3 other books just to get into these 2 books, you don't. They're completely fine. I think you'll be 100% okay. So like I said in Six of Crows, we follow 6 main characters, and the whole book pretty much follows a heist. That is our main scheme of this whole book, is this huge heist that these 6 characters have to pull off. The series is very character driven. You learn the backstory of all these characters. You learn how they're pretty much very morally gray. A lot of these characters will scheme and gamble and, you know, get in fights in the purpose of getting fights, and they'll do heist and they'll do all these things that are, you know, morally gray, whether you agree with them or whether or not. So it's very interesting reading about that, how they're, you know, different. They're not like your hero, save the day, let's do all the right things. They're quite different. They steal, they master manipulate, they do all these things. They're part of a gang, so it's pretty awesome reading that. It's a very, very gritty series, I would say, if you're interested in reading about that as well. I will say I did like Six of Crows. It takes some time for me to get into. I will say the first half moved very, very slowly, but the second half definitely redeemed itself. It was much more action-packed, it was much more faster paced, but the first half was slow, and we had to really build up a storyline and stuff like that, so that's the one thing I didn't really love about Six of Crows. So yeah, there you go. That's all about Six of Crows, in case you're wondering. Moving on to Crooked Kingdom, I will let you know when I spoil it. It'll be very, very briefly that I actually spoil this book, but I will let you know when I do. Like Crooked Kingdom, I will say I was expecting more. A lot of people rave about this duology, and I can 100% understand why. The main thing that makes this series, this duology, so amazing is the characters in it. Like I said, this is a very, very character-driven duology. It's very character-rich. It is just very beautiful, and it's very diverse with the characters and sexuality. It's just amazing with that, and I think that's what makes this series amazing, and that's why I think I like it. I like it a lot. I don't love it, but I like it a lot solely for the characters. Again, with the first book, this took me a while to get into. It wasn't until about page 160 that I really was invested in the story, and I really was seeing a lot of action happen, at least for me. So like right around here is where it really picked up. So only the first quarter was kind of slow, but well, after page 160, I was really invested, and I felt like it picked up a lot, but it was a little bit of a mountain to climb to get invested in the story because it was kind of slow. I did like the way it ended. I felt this series I felt like this duology came to a conclusion well. I was happy with how it ended. It didn't like tie everything up in like a neat, nice bow, but I felt like there could be room for more things to happen with any of these characters. If she wants to do another spinoff with one of these characters or more, or if she wants to do something completely different within the Grisha universe, I think that would be great as well. But like I said, like it didn't like wrap up everything 100% okay. I think there's room to grow within this series, which I think she will probably do because this duology is so well loved. How could you not? I would definitely read a spin-off series, that is for sure, of any one of these characters because I like all of them a lot. The thing I liked about Crooked Kingdom is the fact that we got more Wylan. Like I said, we have 6 main characters, but in the first book, Six of Crows, we didn't follow Wylan's perspective at all. So I wanted to know more about him. In this one we did. We learned a lot more about him, and I really, really loved him. I thought he was an amazing character, so I was so happy that he was fleshed out more and we learned more about him in this book. That was awesome. Overall, that's all I'm going to say about non-spoilers. I did like it. I didn't love it as much as I did, which we'll talk a couple of things about that I didn't like about it. There was only a couple really, and then the fact that it was kind of slow paced. I think the reason why I like this series as much as I do is, like I said, because of the characters. The characters are just so character rich and just so amazing and so fleshed out and just so morally gray, and you're just sometimes with their decisions, sometimes you're not with their decisions. But overall, this is a duology I would recommend, especially if you want something grittier, something with heist and schemes and master manipulators and lots of gunfights and all that kind of stuff. This would be a perfect duology for you. So I highly recommend it. I didn't love it as much as I did. I gave both of these a 4 out of 5, and I feel confident with those ratings. I really like 4 out of 5 for me is I really, really enjoyed it. There was just a few things that made me 100% from loving it. So I would recommend this highly highly. Definitely if you want a very character-rich, character-driven, gritty series. So that's all I'm going to say about non-spoilers, and I'm just going to say a couple things about spoilers. So if you haven't read this book, you probably should not watch any further. Let's talk about the main thing that happened in this book at the very end, the character death of Matthias. I am not mad about it by any means. I mean, I'm not happy about it because I love Matthias. I thought he was one of my favorite. I like all these characters, let's be real here. But I really enjoyed Matthias, and I understand that somebody was going to die. In a series of like fantasy, you know somebody's going to die because that's how, it usually goes. So I think when you pick up a fantasy series, somebody's going to get the axe at some point. And it's not that I wasn't expecting Matthias, it's the way that he died that I didn't enjoy. I felt like it was just kind of almost like a cop-out. Like the heist, this whole auction thing is over, everything happened perfectly, they pulled off their huge scheme, and he's just walking down the street and somebody that he's never met before is like, hey, you're a bad guy, you've done all these things back then, and boom, shoots him and he's dead. What? Like, I get the whole fact that life is very fragile. I don't know that's what she was going for with, like, even if you pull something huge off, you can die, like, in a millisecond. I get that. I 100% get that, and that's exactly how life is. But I felt like it was just kind of just, like it just got pulled from out of thin air, and it was just like, there's his death. And I didn't just like, what? I felt like he should have died maybe during the auction with that huge scuffle that if maybe Van Eyck would have killed him or something like that. That would have been more interesting. The fact that he just got shot by somebody random is just, I didn't enjoy it. I did not enjoy the way he died. So I'm not mad that he died. I understand because a lot of people die in fantasy series, but I just don't like the way that he died. I just felt like it was just, I don't know. I didn't like it. Hopefully I'm not the only one. Please let me know your thoughts and opinions about it. The last thing that I am still on the fence about, I think I like it, but I don't like it, is the character Kaz. Kaz is a very beloved character. He's probably everybody's favorite character. I don't know if he's my favorite character. I really like Matthias, and I like Wylan, and I like Jesper, and I like Nina, and I like NJ. I like everybody. Kaz might be my least favorite because I feel like Kaz is a master manipulator. He definitely is. But the one thing, I feel like he's always got something in his back pocket. And then when he doesn't have something in his back pocket, he's got something in his, like, back pocket. He's got a backup plan for his backup plan for his backup plan for his backup plan. And I feel like that's kind of unrealistic. I mean, like, gosh, that's I don't know if that's realistic for me. Like, that's a lot of scheming, a lot of planning, like a backup plan for your backup plan for your backup. I keep saying that, but that's exactly how I felt while reading this. Like, there were several situations in this book where I'm like, we are screwed. Like, this is it. Everything's done. Hit the fan, and let's just call it a day because there's nothing we can do. And Cass pulls something else out of his back pocket. And I'm like, how does this man know? Like, how does he do this? What goes through his head? So I like that about Kaz. I do like that. I will admit, when I was reading it and that happened, I was like, this dude's like amazingly smart. But then I'm like, how does he do that? Like, how does he have so many backup plans? Like, it's like taking a road trip and you have this one destination and you have these routes that you could take. There's maybe like 3 routes. Kaz has like 50 routes planned out just in case. Just in case. Is it possible to have 50 routes? I mean, I'm sure it is, but how can you have that in your head going at all times? I don't know how he keeps up with it. I really don't. And it's not to say I didn't enjoy reading about that, because I definitely did, but I just have such a conflicting feeling about it. Like, I liked reading it, but then I'm like, is that possible? So I don't know if I'm the only one that feels that way. Let me know. I still really liked Kaz. I think he's a very intriguing, very complex character, and I did really enjoy him, but I felt like just how many backup plans he had was just kind of unrealistic. That's just my opinion. I could be the only one that feels that way, but I still enjoyed it. Does that make sense? I felt it unrealistic, but I still really enjoyed reading it. Do not get me wrong. So that is all of my thoughts and opinions on Crooked Kingdom. Again, like I said, I really enjoyed this book, and I'm very happy to have read the duology. I think it's a great duology, and it'll be one of my favorites that I have on my shelf because of the way it's just character-driven and character-rich. I hope that Leigh Bardugo continues on with the Grisha world, whether it be one character in this book or several. I will definitely read any more of this. If you have read Crooked Kingdom, please let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. And yeah, I would love to hear what you think about it, the way it ended, the way things happen, the way the scheming happened. Please let me know your thoughts and opinions. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.